What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be taking a look at the Morimoto 2-stroke bulbs. So as you can see here, the passenger side of my truck is defective. Both bulbs are obviously turned on. The driver's side appears to be flickering. It actually is not. In real life, that is a solid beam of light, but for whatever reason, when you shoot an LED bulb, sometimes it appears to flicker on a cell phone or on a computer or whatever have you. But the reason for this video is my 2-stroke 2.0 bulb on the passenger side is defective. You can see if we get real close, the bulb actually isn't out. You can see very, very faint light in the back of the housing. The bulb still is operating, but I think what's going on is the majority of the chips are out, and the chips that are still working are dim, and I was actually pulled over for this issue. So Morimoto did cover it under warranty, but what they did was they sent me the upgraded version, the 2-stroke 3.0. And so I was immediately concerned with there being a variance in my light output from passenger to driver's side, seeing as how they won't cover the set of bulbs to be replaced. They will only replace the defective passenger side bulb. So what Morimoto has done is they have told me that there will be no visible difference between the 3.0 on the passenger side and the 2.0 on the driver's side. I find this very hard to believe because if you read any of Morimoto's advertising or watch any of their videos, all they do is talk about how revolutionary the new 2-stroke 3.0 bulb is and how proud they are of the newly redesigned housing of the actual bulb itself. And so I'm just really not believing them and that there's not going to be any difference. And, I could have purchased a cheap set of $40 bulbs off of Amazon. And the reason I didn't do that is because I was concerned about variation between bulb to bulb with a cheap set. And so I went ahead and spent $200+ on, top of the line Morimoto bulbs. And now here it is 3 years later, and I've got a bulb out, and they're only willing to replace one, and my bulbs are discontinued, and now we're going to go ahead and replace it with a different model. And so this is my first experience with Morimoto products, and I definitely wanted to share this with you guys. So far so good. They are replacing the defective bulb, but I'm not really happy with the way that I think this is going to turn out. And so we'll go ahead and get this thing swapped out with the 3.0, and then we'll have a very good comparison of driver's side to passenger side with the two different generations of bulb, and we'll see if there really is any difference and see how Morimoto handles this situation. So we'll be right back once we've got the new one installed. All right, real quickly, I just thought this would be interesting before I remove. This is the old 2-stroke 2.0 defective bulb, and I'm gonna stop talking here in a second, but as you can see, I don't know how well you can see actually, but all 6 chips are illuminated, but if you just listen, that cooling fan sounds terrible. There's an audible hum to both cooling fans, but this one is definitely struggling. So I'm just wondering if that's not what went defective on this bulb, is the fan. You can see it working and spinning, but the light output just isn't there. And so I thought I had some chips out, but it appears to be some type of possible maybe overheating issue, or something that's definitely not allowing the bulb to function properly. I mean, the chips you can see there aren't overly bright at all. They're brighter on that side than they are on this side, but definitely some technical issues with this bulb. But I'll go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison too with the new 2-stroke 3.0 and let you see both bulbs put together. But just thought I would show this real quick before I went ahead and disconnected it. All right, everybody, just wanted to do a quick side-by-side comparison. This is the newly designed Morimoto 2-stroke 3.0, and this is the old defective Morimoto 2-stroke 2.0. You can see how vastly different these two bulbs are in comparison to one another. And so, from the heat soak to the actual housing to the chips themselves, I mean, these things don't even look remotely close to one another. And, I'm just really concerned with what the light output is going to look like now from passenger side to driver side. And again, Morimoto says that I'm not going to notice a difference, but I mean, just look at those two bulbs. How can there not be a difference in light output from one to the next? And as I said, if you watch any of their advertising, they just rave about the improvements and the upgrades that this bulb gives you when compared to the previous generation 2.0. So again, I wanted to bring my experience and show you the results of my side-by-side comparison of the 2.0 versus the 3.0, and let you guys kind of learn from the first time I've ever had to deal with Morimoto customer service, and maybe it will affect your purchasing decision in the future. So we'll go ahead and get that installed and compare them. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the bulb installed, and I have done 0 adjustments at this point. But if you look to your left, you have the original Morimoto 2-Stroke 2.0, which is installed on the driver's side of my vehicle. And if you look on the right, you have the new upgraded Morimoto 2-Stroke 3.0 bulb. You can see there's a clear color difference as well as hotspot difference in the shape. Not only that, my driver's side bulb has an audible fan noise coming from it, and the passenger side of the vehicle is different. And so Morimoto has basically told me that this is good enough. You can see that there's more of a yellow hue on the 2-Stroke 2.0, and on the new 2-Stroke 3.0 it's more of a crystal clear white, I'll call it, or just like clean white, no yellow hue to it whatsoever. And obviously the hotspot shape is definitely wider over here and more kind of messy, whereas this one is more condensed and a lot more crisp. And so this is what Morimoto is trying to tell me is good enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and call them tomorrow, send them a photo of this, and let them know, again, as I earlier mentioned, I paid over $200 for these bulbs because I didn't want to buy something cheap that had variances from one bulb to the next. And what ended up happening to me is one of my bulbs failed, and they will only replace one, and they've discontinued my model. And so now I have 2 completely different bulbs with completely different beam patterns and completely different colors. And so, again, I want to document my experience with this company so that you guys can, kind of learn from, my situation here, and, decide whether or not you would want to do business with this company moving forward. And so, again, I'll call them tomorrow, see what they want to do, and I'll go ahead and make one final update on my video and let you know kind of how they handle it. Alright YouTube, we're back. I just got off the phone with Morimoto customer service, and I could not be more surprised and pleased with the end result. And so basically, everything that we just went over, I discussed with them as far as not being happy with the color from the 2.0 to the 3.0, not being happy with the symmetry of the hotspots, the symmetry of the beam pattern, and everything really across the board, down to the audible noise of the cooling fans not matching up. And so, based on my first conversation with them, where the customer service representative told me that, I wouldn't have any problems with the 2.0 and the 3.0, and they would only send me one bulb for the defective one, and that I would be good. I thought they were going to kind of duck and try and, weasel their way out of doing anything above and beyond that. And again, I could not have been more wrong and surprised about the end result. And so what the rep told me today, after I, explained to them everything that we just talked about in depth, is that they're going to just go ahead and replace every single bulb in the front of the truck, my highs and lows, all 4, even though one was defective. That way we don't have any more problems with any symmetry issues or any issues with anything matching. They're going to upgrade everything from the 2.0 to the 3.0. And so, while the one bulb did fail, Morimoto more than stands behind their products, and more than goes the extra mile to provide top-notch customer service and make their clients happy. And I do want to definitely point out to you guys that I am not endorsed or sponsored by Morimoto in any way, shape, or form. So I paid full retail price for these bulbs, as a traditional customer would, just the same as you guys. I am no way, shape, or form affiliated with this company. I just like to document my journey with my modifications on my truck and my install processes every step of the way, because I enjoy doing it. And so I have no sponsorships, I get no discounts. The products I use because they're top of the line. I always try and put the best possible products on my truck, and Morimoto has that reputation. And while one of the bulbs did fail after 3 years, they not only stood behind it, but they took care of everything and upgraded the entire truck. And so at the end of the day, would I recommend Morimoto products, and will I continue to use them in the future? Absolutely. I could not be more blown away with the customer service that they provided and the resolution to this problem. And so you guys can use my experience to form your own judgments and help make your decisions on whether or not you would do business with this company. But I personally would recommend them and will definitely continue to use their products in the future. And so I hope you guys found this video entertaining, useful, informative. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment below. And I really appreciate the support, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.